1873 FM.
I want to find out what it is that you have done for the people of Angola so far. I mean, you want to be the change that you want to see. So what change? Because we can sit here and talk about all the problems Angola has and all the problems Africa has.
I'm not just here to paint badly our current government, but we also have some ideas. And one of them, talking politically, is that we want to give back, what we are calling citizenship back to them. What I mean by that? What I mean is that in Angola, unfortunately, and I think this is a problem of most African countries. It's like, if you are not a holder of a membership of the current party.
Concerning the inviting people to come to Angola, people are complaining concerning the visa. Put your passport in the embassy. Sometimes it takes 1 month or 2 months for you to get the visa. Once you're in the government, are you going to work on that?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Benjamin. What we assist is that one can submit his visa application and he can stay for 2 or 3 months. Once, he's a businessman. He has a lot of activities. We also want to change this bureaucratic way of treating people who are interested to go in Angola,
Naledi Baltina and Tinashe.
Come on! Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 1873FM. Hashtag 1873FM. Come on! Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 1873FM. Hashtag 1873FM.
Hello. Здравствуй. Ciao.
Shalom. Bonjour.
สวัสดี Konnichiwa.
What's up, world?
Good songs.
Day long.
It's number one.
Most awesome thing ever.
This is
One of the coolest stations in the world.
1873.
What kind of Africa do you want to be part of?
What a question. Thank you so much for that question. I'd like to see a well-developed country. Each and every African country must be well-developed. We must be able to do business without depending on Europe or all the other countries that we now depend on. I'd like to see an Africa that is peaceful. You look at it currently, we're struggling with wars, instability, and all sorts of other challenges, economic challenges, for example, which is a big problem.
That was Mr. Anel Ndlovu, the president of Zim SA Forum.
Tanash Ampasari with the Africa I Want on www.the1873fm.com. From 1873 to present, and introspect to your heritage.
Can we say behind every successful woman is a lazy nigga? I don't know. What do you say?
No, definitely not. I think behind every successful woman is another successful woman.
Oh, I like
So I
that.
definitely think that women look out for each other. There's a misconception that we're always attacking each other or something. I definitely think that we do tend to look after each other.
Definitely.
One piece of advice I always give to young people is that they need to understand how finances work.
Empowering the mind, enriching the nation. 1873 FM.
Well, if you just tuned into the 1873 FM, thank you for making the 1873 FM your channel of choice. And it is the Santon Express morning show. This is your platform for open, frank, and honest conversations in as far as shaping and defining the character and personality of the kind of future that we all want collectively. And when you look at the kind of future that I want, the kind of future that I want is a future where as individuals we play our part in sharing knowledge on a daily basis so that we can reduce ignorance amongst individuals within our communities. Knowledge in itself is capital. Knowledge in itself can enable us to realize so much more. And talking about knowledge, when it comes to shared knowledge, particularly when it comes to international relations, I think this week has been a very interesting week for me, particularly on the diplomatic informal quarter, where I've been learning a lot about the need or the essence of having a shared understanding when it comes to the role that media plays in as far as sharing knowledge around international relations is concerned. You'll find out many times we actually don't have a shared understanding as to the aspect of international relations, the role that it plays in building inclusive, progressive and prosperous communities for all. And all too often we find ourselves as individuals not even bothering to ask the necessary questions, what it means when you say international relations, and what the role that the individuals who act as ambassadors have to play when it comes to representation of the governments that they hail from. So this is your platform where we get to actually explore that, and we have been having these conversations in as far as just trying to also better understand those missions, those diplomatic missions that are in South Africa, and the work that they are doing in contributing towards the development of South Africa. And when you look at these relations, for example, last week the news when I had to share with individuals out there what the ambassador of when the ambassador of the United Arab Emirates in as far as the Back to School initiative that they are part of with the Deputy Minister, or which they have collaborated with the Deputy Minister of Education, Mr. Alvin Both, you find out that such phenomenal work towards the development of South Africa, particularly when you look at education. These are stories that aren't being told at all, and yet media can actually play a critical role in as far as projecting a positive message, a positive and more important, not just a positive message, but showcasing the great work that such individuals are playing in advancing South Africa. So you too can also add your voice and just share your understanding in as far as international relations are concerned. It's good morning to you, Philip Sibanda. Great to know that you are tuned in, and good morning to all those that are also following the show. King Matope, glad to know that you are tuned in. Sekuru Mofu, glad to know that you are tuned in. And yes, Philip Sibanda says, yesterday I rocked that radio with my boy MC Wildfire, and avoided me. No, I did not avoid you at all, Philip, but I had another engagement that I had to be part of in the morning. But I do hope that the conversation that you had, it also made an impact on many other individuals that were tuned into the 1873 FM. And I am glad that, Philip, you actually give up time so that you can also share knowledge that you have with many others through this radio platform. And this is what we are basically encouraging on the 1873 FM, that as individuals, we can all play a part in sharing what we have come to know, the knowledge that we have on particular issues or matters, and ensuring that that knowledge, when shared, it can also make a difference in other individuals' lives. So let's continue to make use of this platform in advancing scholarship, in knowledge sharing, and ensuring that we can be able to uproot the ignorance that is amongst individuals in our communities, in our societies. Well, on that note, we go on a quick break, but keep it locked on your channel of choice, the 1873 FM, your voice, your power, your voice on issues that matter, your power to inspire new thinking, new outcomes, and new possibilities. And more importantly, as we strive towards building a bank of knowledge, let your voice also be heard. And don't shy away from sharing what you know. You never know who could be listening and who could be inspired by your personal experiences, and more importantly, by those insights that you have to share.
and full of surprises. Starting from birth to death, it's my life story, an adventure of experiences. Oh.
Okay, so that was sounds of Maxine with working on my dash, and I do hope that so far this morning, wherever you happen to be, you are also working on your dash and making the most out of your time to make a difference. So looking at South Africa relations with other countries, and this morning we will focus on the European Union. The 12-member European Union was South Africa's leading trading partner in the early 1990s, purchasing almost 40% of its exports in most years. European, including British direct investment in South Africa, had reached 17 billion US dollars, or about 52% of all foreign investment in South Africa. By the mid-1990s, the EU could promise South Africa one of the world's largest markets for South African exports. The EU also proposed a variety of loans and grants on preferential terms for South Africa in the 1990s, as well as a 122 million US dollars aid program for priority needs such as education, job creation, and human rights. Just from the information that we are learning is the essence of these international relations in as far as advancing South Africa's development is concerned, particularly priority needs such as education, health, job creation, and human rights, to which the EU has committed hundreds of millions of US dollars in aid for such programs. So South African closest European ties have been with Britain, particularly with its Conservative Party-led government. More than 800,000 white South Africans retained the right to live in Britain, although official ties weakened after South Africa left the British Commonwealth in 1961. Britain supported the 1977 Commonwealth decision to discourage sporting links with South Africa to register international disapproval of apartheid, but Britain's refusal to impose broader sanctions came under attack at subsequent Commonwealth heads of government meetings, especially in 1985, 1987, and 1989. In September 1994, then British Prime Minister John Major, on a visit to Pretoria, promised a new investment protection treaty that would further strengthen commercial ties. France played a little role in South Africa before the 1990s. Trade between the two countries was increasing during the decade. However, South Africa imports roughly 1 billion US dollars in French products a year, and at least 125 French companies operate in South Africa. And yes, when the French president then, Francois Mitterrand, paid a visit in 1994 to South Africa, that is July the 5th, when the two nations signed an agreement aimed at strengthening commercial ties through long-term loans, subsidies, and technical assistance program. Sectoral goals for these programs included strengthening cooperation between private and public sectors, urban and rural development, financial reconstruction, and environmental protection. So yes, this is what we have this morning in as far as just learning of the essence of international relations when we look at South Africa relations with other countries. On that note, we go on a short break. Keep it locked on your channel of your favorite channel of choice, the 1873 FM, your voice, your power. And shortly, we'll be speaking to some of the individuals who happen to be celebrating their birthdays this morning, them just getting to share with us their stories and more importantly, their insights in as far as the kind of future that they want, because on this platform, we get to have such conversations with individuals in search of the future that we all want collectively. And the kind of future that I want is a future where knowledge is shared and where ignorance is reduced. So on that note, as we go on the short break, sounds of Gaza Lee with a track titled Feather.
Money we need, good life we live in a Big up on myself, 5-star General Ghazali. I did realize, yeah, me, I African alliance. I guess, Bumbo Clat, I said, we are rise and we rise now. Fed at this step, we are march now. Carry solution to shoot me problems. Could never run away from them. Judge a bless, we are on a good life. Say like go no the vampire.